Why does Devi Parvati, who is complete, supreme, and all knowing, descend again and again to perform tapas on earth? In almost every sacred Shiva temple, we hear of Devi Parvati committing a divine mistake only to return to earth, to meditate, to merge once more with Lord Shiva. But this isn't just mythology, it's a profound reflection of the Shiva-Shakti Tattva intimately tied to our own inner spiritual journey. In this episode, we explore one of the most powerful Panchabhuta Sthalams, Thiruvanaikaval Jambukeswarar Temple, representing the Jala Tattva or water element and corresponding to the Swadhisthana Chakra. A quick note before we begin. This video is longer because every part of this temple story felt too precious to leave out. I've added chapter markers, so feel free to skip or adjust the speed. But if you can, I truly recommend watching it all because every detail is a hidden treasure. The main deity, Jambukeshwarar, appears as a Shivalingam partially submerged in an underground natural spring. This living symbolism of the water element is believed to heal issues related to the Swadhisthana Chakra, such as back pain, kidney problems, infertility, and emotional imbalances. Devotees also come here seeking divine wisdom, for Devi Akhilandeswari herself performed tapas and gained jnana from Shiva here and offers the same to sincere seekers. Long ago, a spider and an elephant worshipped Shiva at this very site, and so this place came to be known as Thiruvanaikaval, and the Moolavar Jambukeshwarar was named after the jambu trees or Vennaval Maram in Tamil that covered this area. The Garbhagriha of this temple is notably wider structure. At its sacred core, the Brahmasthanam, rests the self-manifested Linga of Jambukeshwarar. The upper conical portion of the Lingam shines with a coppery hue, while the Yoni Bhagam or the pedestal is of black granite. A distinct brass ring marks the junction between the Lingam and its base. Devi Akhilandeswari here is revered in 4 Swarupams across the day. Mahalakshmi in the morning, Parvati at noon, Saraswati in the evening, and Varahi Devi during the night's Arthajama Puja. Her powerful presence is felt differently during each phase, making this temple a Shakti Sthalam as much as a Shiva Sthalam. The Uchikalam or afternoon puja is one of the most revered rituals at this temple. During the Uchikala puja, the temple priest symbolically assumes the form of Devi herself, adorning female attire to perform worship to Lord Jambukeswarar and a holy cow. It is said that in that profound and sacred moment, the priest is not separate from the goddess but becomes her. According to legend, 2500 years ago, a sage named Jambu performed severe penance under the shade of a jambu tree, that is Vennaval Maram. One day, a white fruit fell on him, which he offered to Lord Shiva in Kailasa. After Shiva consumed it, the sage ate the remnants and requested a darshan in the same spot where he did the penance, that is the Navalantivu or the Thiruvanaikaval is present. Thus began Shiva's divine play. As in other Panchabhuta Sthalams, Devi is said to have committed a divine lapse. Some say by playfully covering Shiva's eyes, others say by interrupting his penance. Either way, to atone for this cosmic karmic act, she descended to earth to perform penance and dissolve the karmic debt. Using her yogic powers and Shiva's grace, she crafted a lingam from the Kaveri waters and performed intense tapas. Pleased, Lord Shiva appeared and imparted Jnana Upadesam, the divine wisdom, to Devi Parvati. That's why Akhilandeswari here is seen as a disciple and her shrine is placed directly opposite Jambukeshwarar's. making this temple as an Upadesha Sthalam. And so, no celestial marriage or Thirukalyanam is celebrated here, as the divine couple are in Guru and Sishya Bhavam. One of the most unique rituals associated with this temple is the Tatanka Prathistha, the consecration of the divine ear ornaments for goddesses Akhilandeswari. It is said that initially Devi here was an Ugra Swarupam, that is a fierce form. Her intensity was so overwhelming that even the priest feared opening her sanctum. It was Adi Shankara who later calmed her energy. As a first step, he installed a shrine of Prasanna Vinayagar directly opposite her sanctum so that the first being she would see every morning would be her beloved son. To further balance her energy, he also placed Lord Muruga behind her sanctum. Yet, this wasn't enough. To truly pacify her Ugra Shakti, Adi Shankara further crafted two Sreechakras in form of Tatankas, the divine ear ornaments, and drew forth all the Ugra Kala of the goddesses into these two Tatankas and fixed them on her 2 ears. It is notable to know that Adi Shankara had installed this Shri Yantra or the Srichakra in many temples to reduce the Ugra Swarupam of Devi. One such example is also in the Kanchi Kamakshi Amman temple. But unlike there, where he could easily install it in the ground, here, since this is a Neer Sthalam, he encountered the challenge, and that's why he made an arrangement to install the Srichakras in form of Tatankas. So from then on, Akhilandeswari became the Saumya Murti, the compassionate and graceful mother as she is worshipped today. And whenever these Tatankas needs restoration, it is the Acharyas of the Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham who restore and perform the Tatanka Prathistha, continuing the age-old tradition. In fact, during my research, I came across a remarkable article from The Hindu dated 1923 detailing the Tatanka Prathistha performed that year, proof that this sacred practice has been preserved with reverence for centuries. Another fascinating legend associated with this temple speaks of two Shivaganas, Malyavan and Pushpadanta, celestial attendants of Lord Shiva. One day, a dispute arose between them about who was more devoted to Lord Shiva. Observing their ego, Lord Shiva decided to teach them a lesson cloaked in compassion. He sent them to earth. Malyavan was reborn as an intelligent spider and Pushpadanta as a majestic white elephant. Though unaware of their divine origins, both retained a deep, instinctive devotion to Shiva. They arrived at Navalantivu, place we now know as Thiruvanaikaval, and began their daily worship, each in their own way. The spider, ever mindful, spun delicate webs over the Shivalingam to shield it from falling leaves and dust. For him, this was an act of pure love and protection. Meanwhile, the elephant, equally devoted, found these webs to be impurities and would remove them, bathing the Shivalingam with water and offering flowers. This silent conflict continued day after day until one day the spider could no longer bear it after seeing the elephant destroy its web. Enraged, it crept into the elephant's trunk and bit him hard. In pain, the elephant slammed his trunk to the ground, killing both himself and the spider. Lord Shiva, moved by the intense devotion, even in conflict, granted moksha to the elephant, returning him to the Kailasa. But the spider, having caused harm in anger, was granted one more birth to exhaust that karma. He was reborn as the great Chola king, Kochingan Soran. Blessed with divine memory, he recalled his past life and the story of elephant and spider. Yet, his subtle aversion to elephants lingered even in this birth. As a result, he built temples on elevated platforms so that elephants could never enter them. Kochengan Soran devoted his life to Shiva's service, building 78 Shiva temples and renovating many temples across his kingdom. Eventually, his journey led him to Thillai, present-day Chidambaram, where he built homes for the revered Thillaivar Andanas, the custodians of Lord Nataraja's temple. To learn more about them, watch our detailed video linked in the description. In the end, his bhakti bore fruit. He merged into the divine presence of Lord Nataraja and attained Kailasa. Another divine moment unfolded in this temple when the goddess Akhilandeswari once revealed her Jnana Saraswati form in a very beautiful way. Varadhan, a simple temple worker, had no idea his life was about to change. One night, while waiting near a pillar for his wife, Mohanangi, a temple dancer, he fell asleep from exhaustion. Unseen in the shadows, he lay unnoticed as his wife, delayed by the temple festivities, missed him and went home. Nearby, a devotee was deep in penance, longed to see Devi in her child form, Bala Tripura Sundari. That night, he sat deep in meditation, not far from where Varadhan lay sleeping. Moved by his devotion, Akhilandeswari appeared as a radiant child, adorned with jewels and flowing skirt. She danced playfully around that devotee, tugging at his shawl, trying to capture his attention. But the devotee, lost in rigid practice, failed to see the divine in her innocent play. Irritated, he dismissed the child with harsh words and shut his eyes tighter. Grace, however, never halts. Unspent, Devi's overflowing compassion turned towards Varadhan. She walked over, transformed into a young maiden, and gently tapped his back. Startled awake, Varadhan assumed his wife had come. But as he looked up, he saw a mysterious maiden with a serene smile and a divine radiance. Speechless and awestruck, he didn't ask who. She then offered him the betel leaf which she was chewing, and without hesitation, Varadhan accepted it, and in that moment, everything changed. Awakening into bliss, Varadhan realized who she truly was. Poetic praises of Devi poured out of him like monsoon rain. The once ordinary temple worker had become the legendary poet Kalamegam, blessed by goddesses Akhilandeswari herself. So what do these sacred stories teach us? This is not just a place of worship. It is a portal of inner transformation. It teaches us that jnana, wisdom, and tapasya, the effort, can awaken the Guru within and to lead us to Lord Shiva. As the Swadhisthana Chakra is activated here, it empowers our creative expression, emotional vitality, fulfilling relationships, and joy, essential for both spiritual and material growth. With Thiruvanaikaval, we have explored the water element. In our journey so far, we have explored all the Panchabhuta Sthalams except one, the air element or the Vayu Tattva, connected to the Anahata Chakra, embodied by the sacred temple of Srikalahasti, which we'll uncover in another video. Until then, explore the full Panchabhuta Sthalam playlist linked in the description. And if this video was informative to you, please support this journey by giving it a like and sharing it with the fellow seekers. Have you visited this temple before? Did you witness these stories, rituals, or energies in person? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your experience. Because sometimes what seems like just another temple visit is actually the beginning of something far deeper. And don't forget, Shiva and Shakti await your inner awakening right here, right now. Thanks for watching.